Në lidhje me veshjen e tij tashmë gazetari që ka bërë të pyetje kërkon falje nga biseda që patën herën e parë.
Real quickly, upon peace, God willing we get peace, are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have
Në lidhje me zgjedhjet brenda vendit të tij.
And a little bit
Zelenski është i gatshëm që të kalojë.
to work in the parliament because during the war you can't have
Po
elections.
tani jemi në luftë.
We can do security. We need
garantojmë sigurinë.
Yes,
duhet e vërteta.
the battlefield in the sky and the
Fusha e
sea.
betejës është aty.
To make possible for people
Të bëjnë pamundur për
to
njerëzit
do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you're
Vetëm bëjnë
saying
zgjedhje të
during the
lishme.
war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now, so you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections.
Kur janë në luftë, shpreh Donald Trump nuk ka zgjedhje.
You like this idea? No.
Speaking of news, I got a question for you. This sounds insane for me even to ask this, but do you think the American media really doesn't even want a peace deal because they've seen they've been so critical of you every step of the
Në
way?
lidhje me median amerikane, që ka qenë kritike për Zelenskin.
It's an amazing phenomenon. I said that if in the settlement you got Moscow, St. Petersburg, and thousands of miles around them, they would say I made a bad deal. The level of hatred and animosity is incredible. Not with all. I mean, we have great people up here. We also have
Donald
terrible
Trump
people up
shpreh
there
në
that I
lidhje me
think
median
are
dhe për
told
njerëzit
what
që
to say.
përfaqësojnë.
But, you know, in solving all of these wars, they don't even write about it. You know, I saw major wars. I saw wars that have been going on for 31, 35, and 37, and a couple of quicker ones. One that was going to go into a full-blown deal very quickly. You know what the one I'm talking about. It was a big one. But they don't even write about that. No matter what I do, no matter what, and you know, this is not anything to do with you. It's probably to your advantage in a certain way. But no matter what I do, no matter what deal I make, from my standpoint, you'll come out good. Maybe President Putin will come out good. But they'll say, Trump was absolutely horrible. It's just that, and I've lived with that for a long time. I've lived with it since just before the first election. I used to get great publicity.
Gjatë mandatit të parë kam pasur një progres në raportin me Putin.
But I won in a landslide, so that people understand. They're the only ones that count ultimately. But I've also had great reporters. I've had journalists that are very good.
Gjatë rrugtimi kam pasur.
But it's very sad when you do the right thing. As an example, they said, because of the fact that Vladimir Putin came to American soil, this was a tremendous defeat for Donald Trump. It was really wonderful that he did it. It was a hard thing for him to do, to be honest with you. It was the opposite of what they said. But they said, now, if he didn't come, they said that was also bad for Trump. Yeah, there's no way. And there's just a great dishonesty of the press, and I think that's why it's lost its credibility. You know, its credibility is at an all-time low. We have a thing going on right now in D.C. We went from the most unsafe place anywhere to a place that now people, friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years, and Washington, D.C. is safe, and you did that in 4 days. I'll tell you it's safe. I had another friend of mine yesterday, a son who's a great golfer, he's on tour, and he came in fourth yesterday in the big tournament where Scotty Scheffler made the great shot, and he said his son is going to dinner in Washington, D.C. tonight. I said, would you have allowed that to happen a year ago? He said, no way, no way. He said, what you've done is incredible. And I think the people realize it. But the press says, he's a dictator, he's trying to take over. No, all I want is security for our people. But people that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner. And the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time. Thank you.
I walked around yesterday with MTG. If you can walk around with D.C. with MTG and not be attacked, the city is safe.
Yeah,
Mr. President, last week you warned of what you called severe consequences if a 30-day ceasefire or any type of ceasefire were not agreed to by Russia, will there be severe consequences? Does that change because
I don't think you need a ceasefire. You know, if you look at the 6 deals that I settled this year, they were all at war. I didn't do any ceasefires. And I know that it might be good to have, but I can also understand strategically why, well, you know, one country or the other wouldn't want it. You have a ceasefire and they rebuild and rebuild and rebuild and, you know, maybe they don't want that. But if you look at the 6 deals that we made peace and, you know, long-running wars, I didn't do any ceasefires. Would I like the concept, you know, I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop, but strategically that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other. But all of these deals I made without even the mention of the words ceasefire.
President Zelensky, are you explain the decision to offer Ukraine Article 5-like security guarantees, but stop short of pushing for their
I garantohen Ukrainës apo mbas marrëveshjes. Për këtë nuk e vendosur akoma asgjë.
You go back long before President Putin. It was always a statement that they would never allow Ukraine into NATO. So that was a statement that was made, but we haven't discussed any of that yet. We're going to be discussing it. But we will give them a future nuclear capability as part of it. And the people that are waiting for us, I think we're going to get solved. I'm confident we're going to get it solved.
Thank you, President Trump. The United States has already given hundreds of billions of dollars to this war. At best, it is a